r/Askreddit. What's an industry secret in the field you work in? Auto insurance agent. Please, for the love of God, don't tell auto insurance agents more than you have to. They ask you a question. Just say yes or no and answer the question as straight as you can. If you go on and on about your life story, you will probably end up saying something you don't have to and making your rate higher or getting yourself declined. We want to get you that policy as cheap as possible. Only tell us what we need to know and don't say anything else. Library worker here. The majority of donations we receive do not end up in circulation on our shelves. No matter how much you demand, we put them there once they are donated. The reason why this is because we only add items to the collection that we think will circulate, be checked out. Most libraries get funding based off of statistics. We don't want to waste shelf space on items that people aren't checking out, as it won't improve our stats. So, unless the donated items are brand new or by popular authors, we will not add them to the collection. We will also weed unpopular items from our collection with extreme prejudice for this reason, much to our patrons' horror. These books usually end up being sold at book sales to help generate funding for other library programs. A huge portion of online reviews, ratings, social media presence, etc. that you see for any given company are fake, paid for, or done by multiple accounts controlled by us. This includes a company's Glassdoor page, fake reviews about how great it is to work there, so that the million negative reviews don't crush their page. I'm not saying it's every company out there, but it's been a lot of the ones I've worked for. Source: I'm copywriter. What is ethics? I surely don't know anymore. I'm a dentist. Here's a lowdown on toothpaste. As long as it has fluoride, they are all basically the same. When I was in dental school, the Colgate lady came by and said that everything that says Colgate Total on it is all exactly the same. The only difference is the packaging. So whether it says whitening or gum protection or whatever else, it is all exactly the same. The exception is sensitivity. Toothpaste typically does have an extra active ingredient, KNO3, which helps with sensitivity. Don't ever feel obligated to buy the expensive toothpaste because you think it will be better for your teeth. Just buy whatever you like best. Cigarettes were years ago demanded by the EU to contain less nicotine. The manufacturers of cigarettes looked at each other quite dumbfounded, because how the duck are you supposed to extract a naturally occurring product in a plant? The solution was ingenious, and the EU demand eventually helped the tobacco industry skyrocket in income. The tobacco is during production treated with liquid nitrogen, which almost doubles the volume of the tobacco, making significantly less tobacco needed to fill a cigarette, thereby lowering the amount of nicotine. I know a lot of people get annoyed when a store employee pushes the credit card, but at the kids clothing store I worked at, if you didn't get at least X amount per day, they cut our hours. I wasn't pushing you a shitty credit card to be an asshole. I was scared to lose my hours. Edit. I'm trying to reply to everyone, but I didn't expect this to blow up. If you're in the same position or have been, I'm sorry you dealt with this too. It's honestly shitty, and our minimum wage job should not depend on peddling your wonky store credit card / loyalty program. I work at a university. I'm not an academic advisor in any department, but I provide services to them and help them graduate people when it's unclear whether students met all the requirements or not. And the industry secret is that most of you really don't know what you want to do when you start college. The half that say they do are mainly programmed by their parents, go into it, make large dollars, but they have no real idea of what they'd really like. So don't feel weird or a failure if you change majors. It means that you actually looked around and found something you like better. Stats show that students who change majors do better, edit, on the average, in school than the ones who stick with the major they came in on. This shouldn't actually be a secret, but students don't seem to know it. Software developer. A lot of big companies are barely keeping up with technology. Innovation for them is like saying let's upgrade our core systems from Windows XP to Vista in 2020. As a consultant, I simply don't trust big companies anymore with my identity or money. The state that their on-premise hardware and software is in is an apocalypse waiting to happen. There might be a few teams that do actually use the latest, stable tech, but they usually integrate on top of the other crap and get bottlenecked. More often than not, the solution would be to try to get the very last bit, pun intended, out of a system, rather than to migrate it. I think in most cases it will be 5 to 10 years at minimum by the time we've reached the bottom of that barrel and actually start addressing the problems. I work in the blood industry for medical/research/manufacture use. When you donate your red blood cells, and most platelets will actually be used for medical purposes, but about 85% of the plasma donated will be sold to makeup companies and other manufacturers. Roughly 20% of platelets will also be sold to manufacturers. Your white blood cells will either be sold for research or discarded, since they are basically useless for medical or manufacture purposes. Overall, about 50% of your blood will be used for treatments, and the rest will go to makeup/manufacturing and research companies. I'm not saying don't donate, it still helps people, but it's just something nobody really thinks about when you have that needle in your arm. Butcher shops and other food plants are nasty, unless the people that work there like each other. Every butcher shop I've been to has been disgusting, except the ones where they were talking to each other, listening to music, and having fun. Friends understand that cleaning has to be done, and will talk to each other about it, while others spray it down, because the next guy will clean it better, and I cleaned it yesterday. If you buy from a butcher shop, or other food plants in some cases, look at how the workers interact. A lot of successful artists at a certain level of success do nothing more than create a concept and employ several assistants, who are either current or graduating art students, who actually make the art itself, its reproductions, or both. Edit. I know this is old news in the art industry and academy, but outside of it, I found it very hard to explain my job to people. I do believe that films also romanticize this field and warp what a lot of outsiders think it actually is.